starts, but how you finish and I guess job, whole fourth quarter and contribution you made down the stretch there.
Yeah, hard fought game. I thought we got off to a good start, then we got into foul trouble. And then we finished the half pretty good. And then we were at our best in the fourth. And, a lot of guys stepped up. I thought Cat's presence, Josh all around play, doing what Josh does every night. I thought Deuce gave us good minutes when Jalen was in foul trouble. Boji was terrific throughout. Mitch gave us good minutes. And then Landry and DeLon did a really good job as well.
Tom, obviously Towns 20 in the fourth. Just was there a concerted effort to seek him and hunt him, especially with the lineups that you had?
Yeah, well, I think that's sort of the mantra of the team. They're unselfish guys. When someone gets going, right, that you try to continue to keep them going. You know, and that's recognizing what's working. And so is everyone working together to find open shots for them, which I think is important.
Tom, you often talk about next man up mentality. Right here, DeLon and Landry, two veterans who hadn't played much, were out there on the floor when you guys really started to stabilize that. I guess the importance of having veterans on a team like this.
The high character guys, and both guys have done a good job. And, you know, we picked up DeLon late, but Landry's been terrific all year. He had the unfortunate injury in training camp or preseason, but he's played really well, and he's great for the team. He's always ready, and the same can be said for DeLon. So they're really good pros. And when I say that, I mean they do the right thing every day, and that goes a long way. It's not just lip service; it's actually doing the actual work, which I think is important.
Tom, your guys, over the course of time since you've been with the Knicks, they play tough, they play through injuries. But Carl was grabbing his knee pretty good, and then Josh fell awkwardly on his knee. Do you have any concern with either of those guys for game four?
No, I don't know if you're aware, but our medical team is voted the best in the league. So, yeah, they are tough-minded, and I think it's at this time of the year, the mental toughness is probably more important than the physical toughness. And both of those guys are mentally tough, which I think is huge.
DeLon and Landry, obviously, you just said had such a big impact. What about the game did you see that had you give them all that, playing time and more playing time than they usually get?
Well, foul trouble probably helped. Yeah, but like we were gonna play him, put him in the rotation just to get a different look, and it ended up unfolding because Deuce picked up 3 fouls in a minute and 22. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. So there was some unusual calls to say the least.
Thomas, what I was going to ask you about Deuce was 3 quick fouls, but then he had that one score break that he scored 7 or 8 points in a row for you guys.
Yeah, it's not easy to do, particularly when like you go to the bench after a minute, and then you got to still stay in the game mentally. And so, but I thought his intensity was huge for us. He's a catalyst. It's his defense, his hustle, and I think it gives people energy when you see him flying around like that.
Tom, it's now 3 wins when you've been down by 20 in the playoffs. Can you kind of put into words what that's like as someone who's been around this game for a long time?
Yeah, and I think it's, sort of in playoff with basketball. I know you guys like roll your eyes when they say no lead is safe, but no lead is safe because I think with the 3-point shot, people make up ground quickly, pace of the game, make up ground quickly. So you see comebacks all the time, and if you let up just a little bit, that's what happens. And so you got to win games different ways. Obviously, you prefer to play from a lead, but whatever it is that you have to do, that's what you have to do to get the win in the end. And, going into the game, we talked about it. You don't play the series, you play the game. Just focus in on what it takes to win tonight's game. That's all we're thinking about.
Tom,
The lineup change. What can you kind of take us through what went into that decision?
We could.
You could.
But we won't.
You did, though. You did actually. You actually did. So what went behind actually doing it?
Yeah, and again, the same thing, and I said this to you guys, earlier, you know, like, it really didn't impact either guy from a minute standpoint. So to me, when Mitch was coming off the bench, he's a starter coming off the bench. When Josh comes off the bench, he's a starter coming off the bench. Their minutes are gonna be the same, and so, and both guys mix and match. They both guys are comfortable with both units. And the thing that I love about Josh is the unselfishness. You know, like he's one, like, you know, like you're concerned because you're not only impacting him, but you're impacting other guys in the starting lineup. So you gotta make sure that that's all good, and then you're also impacting the second unit in a different way. So then you gotta figure out, okay, how can we put this all together where we can make it work? And so that also factored into those other guys working in, so we can get all the things that each guy provided for both units.
Tom, can you talk a little bit more? I know you said people realized he was hot and they were getting the ball to Cat, but I mean, you know, he was dunking, he was shooting threes. I mean, he was doing it when Jalen, your other top scorer, is in major foul trouble. What's that like to watch for you guys?
That's great. You know, like I think everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, and so we always talk about playing smart. When you're playing smart, you're playing to your strengths and you're covering up your weaknesses. So you can't get here without being a great player. So whatever it is that you do great, that's what we want you to lock into, and not only understanding what you do well, but also understand what your teammates do well. So lead them into the things that they do well and cover up what their weaknesses are. When you do that, you're playing smart and you're enhancing your chances of winning. Cat, as we know, is a very gifted scorer. He can score 3 different levels. He's comfortable at the 3-point line. He's comfortable putting on the floor. He's comfortable playing back to the basket. So as long as he stays aggressive, you know, it's a huge plus for us. And then the double team comes, and then he can make off that.
Tell them more.
Hey, Tom, we don't see Jalen on the bench often when you guys are playing well in the fourth quarter. Obviously, he has the foul trouble. He comes off, I think, 7 minutes to go. He comes back 45 or so. How were you determining, all right, it's time to go back to Jalen?
Yeah, probably more time and score, you know, and just, you know, trying to get it to the point where you felt like, okay, what do we need in the game right now? And the group was sort of in a good rhythm. So we probably went a little bit longer than normal, but I didn't like, it was hard, like even, you know, Mikhail's last foul, it was hard to judge how they were calling the game. So that was a big concern. You know, I knew we had to have him down the stretch, so.
Tom, less specifically about who got added to the rotation tonight, but normally as the series goes along, especially if it's a 2-game deficit or something uncomfortable, shorten the rotation. You decided to lengthen yours. How did you come to that decision to kind of expand it tonight?
Whatever gives your team the best chance to win. I don't really, you guys always, you know, I know you try to put everything into a box. I don't work that way. So, like, people think, oh, I want a low scoring game. No, I just want one more point than they have. I don't care if it's low scoring, high scoring, medium scoring. I just want to win. That's the bottom line. Whatever gives us the best chance to win, that's what we're going to do. And so that's what I felt it was going to give us the best chance to win tonight's game. So that's why we did it.
Thanks, Coach.